Hello, my name's Karina Thompson, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can easily create your very own unique quilting patterns using the mySewnet embroidery software. So the welcome screen gives you the option to start off a blank canvas, so I'm going to click on that. The next window is always the hoop selection. Now I like to work with the universals selection, but in actual fact if you click on this button down here you can see there's a wide range of machines in the Husqvarna and Pfaff range, but I've got a hoop that's set for 260, 200, very happy with that, and I'm going to click OK. So as you can see I've got my hoop in this workspace, and then I'm going to go to the Create tab. I am going to open the Spiro Wizard here, and this box opens. Now one of the things that you can do is, if you want to, you can change the size of your how big your design's going to be, and for the purpose of this I would like this to be 200 mil, so that's 20 centimeters. Now one of the things that I really like about the Spiro Wizard is if I click on random I get this whole range of different shapes where basically the software is automatically making suggestions on different varieties using the Spiro Wizard. And as you can see there's a wide range of different styles coming through here, with a wide variety of ways, and some of them are very simple as some of the ones that you've seen, and then there are others like this one that are really kind of quite sophisticated. So the very simplest way of working is to just keep clicking on the random button till you see a pattern that you think, wow, that's going to really complement my quilt. Okay, and in that case I can click OK, and there it is, it's ready for me to stitch out. But in actual fact what we're going to do is I'm actually just going to delete this out, because there's a very specific one that I actually want to actually show you how it's set up. Okay, so you can see that my size is still 200. But what you can also do, rather than just keeping on clicking on the random button, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to set some specific sizes, some of the specific numbers. Now I'm always going to leave this on 100%. If I change this down from 100%, let's say I put it at 50, it will be 50% of the size that I've set. So my embroidery would actually only be 100 mil, 10 centimeters across. So I'm leaving that there. But basically what I would say is have a go playing around with some of these sliders and just having a look at the kind of the neat range of effects that you can get going just by playing around with some of these sliders. And this is what I mean about how you can create just totally unique in quilting patterns, because there are literally hundreds of thousands of versions that this wizard will generate for you. But I've got some numbers that I wanted to work out. I'm actually going to put them in directly, and you are very welcome to use these as well. I'm going to put in the number 17 for this is the number of petals. I'm going to, this point is kind of the petal type, and if I put in 14 in here, and you can see my pattern is gradually changing, and of course it might be at any point that you say, well actually I want to use it this way, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, this one is about the curvature. This is basically how smooth or circular the kind of swirls in and out are going to take, and I am going to set that to 42. Okay, and this one is about the angle, whether or not, so sometimes it's actually quite nice that you might have patterns that are going to sit within each other, but you don't want them to sit exactly. You actually want to kind of almost move them a little bit further around the clock so that they're not exactly placed over each other, and that's what this category is about. Here I'm going to leave that at 0, but what I do want on here, I don't know if you can see, we've got 5 different petals on 5 different sort of lines of stitching on each of the petal, and I'm going to just simplify that down a bit, and I'm going to make that 2, and then this last curvature on this line here, I'm going to change to -24. So I can either take that in, or of course you can always use the sliders on these. And that gives me this lovely kind of, it's almost like a geometric flower shape. And I know that this is going to work really well as a quilting pattern because I've got areas of activity, but I've also got areas where I've got some space that will actually allow the puffiness of the quilting to actually really show through. So I'm happy with this design, so I am then going to click OK. And there is my embroidery, my quilting pattern that is ready to go. So I have some choices about how I want to get this onto my machine. So if I go to this little window up here, this button here, if I click on that, you can see I have the option here, send to Designer Epic 2. I'm lucky enough to have a Designer Epic. It's up in my workroom, it's plugged in and ready to go. So if I send this there, you can see a dialog box opens up and it says design was sent to my machine. So if I go up to my workroom right now, I know that this quilting design will be there ready to stitch out. So I'm going to click OK. But it might be that maybe I'm going to say, well, actually I'm a little bit busy now, I can't stitch this out right away, but I've got a couple of other options. So again, if I click onto the Send to mySewnet button up here, what I can actually do is I can send it. Your mySewnet account has cloud storage built into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto mySewnet Cloud. And again, I get this dialog box that opens up here, and what I love about this is going to allow me to actually save this, and that I can put a file name on it. So I am going to call this Karina's Spiro Quilt Pattern. Okay, and then if I click the send button, you can see it says sending was successful, and if I then I can go off, do what I want. I can then come back to my machine, to my computer, switch it on, and I can log on to mySewnet and go to my cloud account, and I can pull that embroidery out of the cloud system, open it up on my in the software, check that it's what I want, and then I can either send it direct, or of course if I've got a Wi-Fi enabled machine, I can pull that design direct from my cloud account onto my machine. Okay, let me just close this window now, because it might be saying, well, Karina, that's great. At the moment, I haven't got a Wi-Fi enabled machine, and that's fine, because what you can do is you can go to File, and I can then go to Export, and then I can export the machine, export the embroidery file to my machine. You can see if I click down here, there's a wide range of lots and lots of different file formats, and it might be that if you've got an embroidery, a Pfaff or Husqvarna sewing machine that actually takes VP3s, that's absolutely fine. You can stitch them out with this. So I'm going to and if I click OK, it's going to go to my machine. It's going to say, where is your memory stick, and I can save it directly onto my memory stick that I can then put into my machine and stitch out accordingly. So hopefully you found that a useful video that shows you how easy it is to use the Spiro Wizard within the mySewnet embroidery software to create totally unique embroidery patterns. My name's Karina Thompson. Please join me again.